cerebral, it's quirky, it's loud.
It's chess on ice. I am fascinated by the strategy of the game.
I think that it's a really great opportunity to get involved in a community of people.
If Broomstones Curling Club resembles a church, it is intentional. It is, after all, a place of fellowship and communion, a gathering spot where faithful adherents of a centuries-old pastime kneel down in a shared love of sport. Rich Collier is club president.
It's a very interesting balance of a sport where you can be physical and go out there and play a challenging game. It has a very unique strategic angle as well, that for very cerebral people to think about how do you navigate and make shot choices and build a strategy to win. And then, of course, there's a social aspect of the sport. And for me, that's the thing that really hooked me.
Founded in Wayland in 1968 by the merger of curling clubs from Wellesley, Weston, and Newton, Broomstones has evolved into a volunteer-run, community-driven club that has a membership waiting list several hundred deep. Sean McAlpin was born and raised in Winnipeg, Canada, yet admits to never skating, playing hockey, or curling, until she came to Massachusetts.
When I moved here, you kind of struggle at the beginning to sort of make friends and whatever, and a couple of colleagues of mine from work were going to go check out the curling club, and I said I would go along. I joined in 2002, and I've been here ever since. It's been awesome.
It's a story you hear often. People who feel they have found their community or slid right into it.
My parents joined Broomstones right after they moved to town, and I was sort of born here, more or less. So I started curling when I was 5, grew up curling here, and then started playing competitively when I was 11.
Alex Leichter took part in the 2021 Olympic trials and is now part of a nationally ranked team. Julia Pekowicz trained at Broomstones in the junior program. Her team has won gold at the Under-18 Nationals and silver at the Under-21 Nationals, and she has her sights set on the Olympics.
I'm the person who's calling all the shots for my team, so that's definitely a big thing for me. But also, I love that I get to be with my family when I'm curling. I'm with my sister on the ice, which is just so much fun, and my dad's one of our coaches, so it's a big family affair.
Alex and Julia agreed to give us a little primer in the sport.
Feel how that's slippery there?
First getting to deliver the stone, a 42-pound granite block slid across a pebbled ice surface.
Hard!
And then as a sweeper, which, as it turns out, is, surprisingly...
Sweeping is much harder than it looks.
Good block.
Ultimate goal of sweeping is, one, to make a stone go further. So you're polishing or potentially melting slightly the ice to make a stone, reduce the friction and have a stone travel further down the ice. And then the other thing that sweeping can do is it can affect the angle or the path of a rock. So you can make a stone go straighter or curl a little bit more.
Curling dates back to Scotland in the 1500s, when some version was played on frozen lakes and ponds. The modern game is more civilized, a sport that is self-policing for infractions. Olympic controversy aside, and where the winners always buy the losers the first round of drinks. Broomstones has trained an impressive roster of top athletes, including Corey Dropkin, who won a silver medal with his playing partner in the Olympic mixed doubles event in Italy. But for most of the weeknight and weekend athletes at Broomstones, this is less about athletic glory than a shared sense of community around a sport often misunderstood and maligned.
It's totally worth just trying. I've had friends who have come and tried it and thought that it was going to be either really easy or not fun at all, and then they've kind of gotten hooked.
That's one of the great things about the publicity that it gets every 4 years from the Olympics, is more and more people get in the door, and once you start, it's hard to stop. Nice shot, Julia.
Thanks.
And Broomstones offers events that introduce people to the sport of curling. Their season on the ice runs from October to April. And one other interesting note, despite a great deal of study, the exact physics of how sweeping influences the stones is not fully understood. Is it melting the ice, or is there some other reduction in friction? The answer has eluded everyone who has studied it.